Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. What's going on, Tyler? Long time no see. How you been, my friend? Hey! What's going on, guys? Today is a lovely day because I didn't have to go to work today. Bitcoin, currently trading at 89,525 and 79 cents. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Let's see. We got some news. You know, it's weekend news, so what are you going to do? We got some news, though. Let me zoom in a little bit here. 12 hour. We've got 88,851. We've got this pretty much the same range that we were in yesterday. 89,830. And we have been happily trading within that little baby range. I'm going to go all the way up here to 91,854. And then down below, I am going to go to 87,219. Oops. Why is my Discord making Discord noises? Stop it. What's that? Hey! Nice. Tyler got himself a dough. Very cool. Congrats. I could go for some backstraps so bad right now, man. I haven't had venison in forever. It's like criminal how long it's been since I've had proper venison. Anyways, Bitcoin 89,487 and 53 cents. We are chilling. Need for the freezer. Very cool. Bitcoin dominance 59.19. My hope was that if this was going to curl up, that it would reject. But we didn't even get a curl up, which I'm okay with. If it's going to go boop and continue to the downside, I'd be happy with that as well. I'm going to leave this on here for now. I'm liking the swift rejection that we got over here earlier in the week. And I'm liking the horizontal resistance right here that we are really struggling to get above. So hopefully this continues to the downside and we can get some nice relief for alts. And a buck? Where's the bucks? Bucks. So, oh yeah, you did get a buck. Look at that. Look at that. You did get a buck. Very nice. I have a skull on the wall behind me, actually. It doesn't belong to me though. It was my dad's. I remember when he made it. Actually, it was kind of gross. Instead of like getting it properly taxidermied, what a great introduction to the stream. Instead of getting it properly like taxidermied, he straight up boiled water for like a week, and like dumped it in a bucket with this head in it. So everything just melted off of it. It was really grody. I remember because I had to like help dump the water out. Crypto Spaces said good night all. What's going on, Crypto Spaces? How you doing, my friend? ETH is up 0.19 since the daily close, also chopping sideways. With the weekend, we're sitting at 3,043, above 3K, which is exactly what I wanted to see. We do have a green dot on our momentum wave and a potential bullish cross over the moving average gearing up here. As long as these stick to their current trajectory, which anything could change with that, but I'm pretty happy with it. We kind of rejected, it looks like 3,200. We'll see if we can get back above that for now. I'm not mad at our current price action. Actually quite like it. Sol is up 0.24% on the day, currently trading at 132.52. We are finding support at our legacy neckline from the previous all-time high break. So that's good. This is a very, very big point of confluence. Nice point of support. It's been support plenty of times in the past. Tyler said I make all my European mounts too. Nice. Crypto Spaces said bear market starts soon. I don't know, actually. That's subjective. We got half the aisle is insisting that we are entering a bear market right this second because of the 4-year cycle. And the other half of the aisle is saying that those people are crazy and it has nothing to do with 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle just happened to align with the liquidity cycle or the business cycle. And the business cycle is pointing towards a potential upside within the next 12 months. So it could be anyone's game, honestly. I'm of the mindset that we have not experienced a bull market yet, so I'm still waiting. Obviously, only time will tell. And I've also mentally prepared myself. I'm either going to be left holding the bag, which I'm fine with, because then I just have to wait, or I'm going to become filthy stupid rich. And the risk reward, in my opinion, is worth it. like I said, I can risk losing my money that I invested pretty much, or I can become retired before I turn 40, which sounds pretty dang good to me. Or at least buy a dang house, you know? I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I personally don't think that we're going into a 12-month long bear market. Tisha said every cycle throws you a curveball. What's it going to be this time? Exactly. Tyler said this was my biggest one. One that you just sent me. Okay, let's see. Ooh, very nice. See, this now I can show. This I can show because there's no blood. This is Tyler's biggest buck. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Who's that handsome fella down there? What is... This is Tyler's biggest buck. That is pretty sick, actually. Big boy. I like that you're, like, petting it. You become one with the buck. I think you have a problem. You're, like, talking to it. Your wife is like, honey, are you talking to the buck again? You're like, no. I'm talking to my friend on the phone. Lunar Entity said, I don't know about curveball for last bull run. Fed gave you a clear exit signal in 2022. Crypto Spaces said, feel like most people agree this was the worst bull cycle. If it was the bull cycle, if it's over, then it definitely was the worst, 1000%. There's no way around that. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Solana's currently sitting at 132.27. As long as we hold above 130, I'll be happy. We do got a green dot at the moment, and wave point to the upside, and a potential bullish crossover the moving average coming on up. And it was different this time. It was indeed different this time. That's what bugs me the most is when you tell people, oh, it's not the 4-year cycle, it's the business cycle. They're like, are you saying this time is different? Well, yes. So are you. If you think we're going into bear market because of the 4-year cycle, then this time was different because there was no alt season and no euphoria. If we do go into an alt season afterwards, then the 4-year cycle is thrown out the window, and this time is different for that reason. There's no other way around it. It's different no matter what. Tisha said, you did not answer my question. Come on, bring out your crystal ball, LOL. What was your question? Oh, what's it going to be this time? Ooh. I've said before, and this is what I'm going to stick to. Last cycle was a cycle of round tripping. I think this cycle is going to be the cycle of selling too early. That is the curveball that I think. I think everyone's going to think, oh, it's over. Oh, the 4-year cycle. Oh, it's over. We might as well take profit. Even though there's like hardly any profit to take. We'll be happy with our little 25-50% gain if you're lucky. And we'll walk away with our tail between our legs. Let our wives know that we only made 50% return on our investment. 4 years for a little baby 50% return, which would have been much larger if we had put it in like the S&P 500 or something. We're not going to tell them that though. Or you wait. I think it's personally easier, like I said, to have held and round tripped than to miss out on the potential gains. Like imagine you held Bitcoin at $300. This is my scenario. Let me actually show a perfect example of this. Let's go through a pretty good scenario. Oh, geez, I gotta go to the weekly. All right, you are... Where are we? Why? How far does this not go back? Does Coinbase really only start right there? Okay, you're right here. Let's say right here. Yeah, I'm gonna go right here, actually. You bought Bitcoin up here, you dollar cost average this whole time. Oh, you barely held on, but you held, and then it does boop. Oh no, it broke through. Who knows? It's at a high right now. You think it's over. Everyone's telling you it's over. They're like starting to ban it in China and stuff like that. The miners are selling all this junk. All this FUD comes out. Tether's getting FUDded. There's like all these new coins coming out. Ethereum, I think, is being talked about. It's, what is it, 2020? Cardano is a little popular and all that stuff. And you decide to sell. So you sell. You basically broke even. You know, you might have averaged down a little bit. And maybe you did make 25-50%. Very cool. Good for you. You know, you're up 25-50%. You can't really knock a person for taking profit if they have profits. That's great. Now you sell right here. Let's say you put in 50 grand, you sell at 75. Oh my gosh, you made 25 grand. That's huge. That's great. That's amazing. But you shut everything down. You never look at crypto again. 6 months later, you're looking and suddenly Bitcoin is $60,000 and you sold down at 10. So you missed out on a 6x right there. Your 75K would have been $450,000. Can you live with yourself for fumbling a $375,000 return? You fumbled $375,000 because you decided to sell right here instead of being able to sit through, a couple of months, 12 months, let's call it. You're going to hate yourself, probably. You're going to be miserable. It's going to suck ass. Now, let's say that was the top. And then, let's say you bought right here. Or no, I'm sorry. Let's say you bought right here. And then you went through all this and you sold right here. And then it went and did this and whatever. And then it goes up again. Because you're probably not going to pay attention to the market the whole time. Regardless, no matter what, at the end of the day, if you didn't sell or you did sell, whatever, the price is going to go up in the future anyways. I got another 4 years. I don't mind waiting if I need to. So, and again, it's the risk-reward situation. You have to know what you're risking. Is it worth the reward? And what are your alternatives? Like, what are the scenarios that can play out? Personally, for me, I would much rather just watch the money disappear in US dollar value, keep my same quantity of coins, dollar cost average, continue to do what I've been doing for the past 3-4 years, and just wait a little bit longer. And with that, I do have the possibility of next year being a bull market, a proper bull market. And if it isn't, then I'll just have to wait a little bit longer. Big freaking deal. Let's see. Tyler said, this is my wife holding it up. Oh, okay. Tishu said you did not answer my question. Yep, I read that. Lunar Entity said the business cycle chart also shows the 4-year business cycle is broken. Crypto Spaces said stocks are outperforming crypto. It's bad for the space. I am bullish though. I agree. I actually 100% agree with that. That's been one of the biggest things that I've been looking at is the stock market completely obliterating cryptocurrency. Now, is that a front-running situation? Is the profits from the stock market going to rotate into, let's say, precious metals and then eventually cryptocurrency? I don't know. I have no idea. But I think that's a possibility. Tishu, yep, I read that. Tyler said I made out about a 4x on my whole portfolio. I'm almost completely out. Really? What about Pinlink? What? Tishu said good things come to those who wait. I agree, my friend. I agree with that. And again, if we're wrong, we're wrong. Big freaking deal. Who's gonna give a crap if we're wrong? Cheers, guys. Happy Saturday. We're getting a little philosophical. Regardless, at the end of the day, I appreciate you guys for showing up and smashing the like button. Bitcoin is chilling, 89, 467, and 85 cents. I will say when Bitcoin does pump, when the bull market does happen, it's a lot faster than you think. You're gonna have a lot less time to jump in if you miss it. So make sure you have a plan. If you are de-risking entirely with a plan to buy the bottom during the bear market, make sure you pay attention and try to time it, appropriately. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just I would hate for someone to miss out entirely because they decided to take profit 100%. You know what I mean? Especially if you guys are tuning into me every single day. Because I don't want to hear it. I'm just kidding. Vent all you want. Anyways, total 3 is up 0.2% on the day. Since the daily close, it does look like it has successfully retested this upper trend line and is going to bust to the upside a little bit. I've made quite a few successful trades the past 2-3 days. I'm very proud of myself. I've been patient, waiting for the actual moves, and I actually, for some reason, buy the position when the move happens. It's very odd. Crypto Spaces said most don't have profits to take. LOL. That too. I mean, you can still take your money out regardless of whether or not it's profits. We're gonna call it taking profits, but de-risking, taking profits. I get it though. I do. I will say, if you dollar cost average during the bear market, you should at least have a little bit of money in the green for the most part. As long as you're not buying flavor of the week coins that like just launched and got really hyped up and then you bought the top. That's where a lot of people I think get screwed. Pivot rebalance. I like that too. Tisha said, what happens when an actual financial advisor gives advice and he's wrong? I don't think that they're liable. Let's actually ask Grok that question because that is a good question. What happens when an actual financial advisor gives financial advice and turns out wrong, incorrect, and I lose a ton of money? Croc is going to be like, well, that means that the money that you invested is gone now and you can never get it back. That's all he's going to say. Like, just straightforward. Nothing happens, idiot. You probably go find a new financial advisor. Anyways, total 3 looks great right now. We've got this lower trend line, a potential trend shift here. We've been in this descending broadening, or not descending broadening. We've been in this descending wedge for quite some time now. And there's nice confluence, and it does seem like a trend shift. We've got a little double bottom action right here. And this breakout retest could lead to a very nice reversal and some upside. Some much needed relief, especially heading into Christmas. And keep in mind as well, with the new year coming up, there may be wash trading, people trying to sell their losses and harvest them for taxes, for tax purposes. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Look into it. If you guys have losses, you might literally like get a decent sized tax break. Lunar Entity said a lot of financial advisors were a little late to April's bottom, but they pivoted quickly in May despite an onslaught of bearish sentiment. Crypto Spaces said, can you look at Sapien on base chain, please? Yes, I can. So yeah, total 3 looks great. I'm actually quite excited for the price action this weekend because I don't know why. It's been very choppy and boring and sideways, but again, I've somehow managed to make like a decent chunk of trades that have been lucrative. Sapien on base chain. Tyler keeps putting little arrows, and I'm not sure what he's putting little arrows for. Sapien on base chain. Powering AI with human data. $40.9 million market cap. The 4-hour chart looks decent. Doesn't look too bad. Let's pull up a RSI. Okay. So this is definitely giving a little bit of a flag vibe. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be like that, because then you'll just get a little pump and slump, like a miniature pump and slump, so you don't really want that. The volume looks good on that pump as well. You do have bullish div right here. Price is up while the RSI is down. So there's bullish divergence, and that bullish divergence basically signals the price continuing to the upside while the RSI continues to the downside. So the potential is there for some upside price action. We are doing TA, though, on what may be considered a meme coin. You might not consider it a meme coin, but it's traded on dexes, so most people just assume anything traded on a dex is a meme coin. All of our little security things look good. Token Sniffer. I've seen so many glitches on Token Sniffer, I can't even take it seriously anymore. The number one thing that I look for with this is holders. You got somebody holding 75%. I'm hoping that that's a liquidity protocol. We might be able to do some math here. Yeah, no, see, here's my problem. Your liquidity is 948K. This is $122.8 million worth. I'm hoping this is maybe a burn protocol. It doesn't look like it, though. They got no transactions, which is good, but who is that? Let me copy this. I want to go to CoinMarketCap. This is another big deal thing that I check. Paste. How do I paste? Jeez. And give me number 502. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so total supply so far. Okay, here it is. Circulating supply is 25%. So that other 75% is what this is. This has yet to be unlocked. And we'll call it printed on the open market. And they have an unlock schedule. Very nice. Okay, this is actually really nice. I like this. So they're upfront and honest about their unlock schedule. You got team and advisors getting 21%, supporters and investors 25, community treasury 13, contributor rewards 15, staking incentives 5, liquidity incentives 7, and seasonal airdrops 13. Okay, I like that. There's no weird words that can be secretive and like turn to whatever they want. They're upfront and honest about the unlock. It's very, very slowly unlocking. It looks like contributor rewards and community treasury. And then in August, September of 2026, it looks like, is when supporters and investors and team and advisors start getting paid. I really like this, actually. This looks really good. The distribution seems to completely fair. With only 25% of it circulating right now, there's huge potential for upside. And that unlock schedule being so slow, I might actually buy some of this. I'm going to leave it open. I like it. Let me check the chat really quick. Lunar Entity said, I would also carefully watch for a rebalancing from stocks to crypto and broader commodities. Underperforming sectors will eventually perform as long as macro headwinds don't arise. Tishu said, Mudang is taken off again. Tyler said it means read previous post, lol. Tyler said, well, what I said was, I didn't sell a dime of Pinlink. It's the only one I sold none of. Oh, okay. Lunar Entity said, I also like to look at Bitcoin US 10-year for risk on rotation. Crypto Spaces said, thanks. Absolutely. That is actually a perfect example. I don't know if we've ever seen a coin that perfect. The distribution is very fair. They are 100% transparent about their unlock, and there's no like weird. Usually the unlock will have like A and B, and what the hell does A and B mean? You know, who knows? But like it's like a good chunk of the percentage too. That was like completely easy to understand. And they're waiting several months, almost a year, to unlock a good chunk of it. So the liquidity looks amazing. That is actually a decent coin. Legit. Like they did a good job with their tokenomics, which I feel like we don't ever see. Ever. Literally, I feel like that is so rare, which is kind of ridiculous if we're being completely honest. Crypto is how old, and we still have to dick around and try to figure stuff out for ourselves like private investigators. Okay, let's see. I also look at Bitcoin US 10-year. Let's go take a look at what Grok said about this. Yeah, the financial advisor thing. When is financial advisor liable? Held accountable if their advice falls below the expected standard of care. Okay, so there's standards that make sure that your financial advisor isn't just like telling you to invest in their cousin's like car wash, you know. What can you do if you lost money? Document everything. Stop following the advice. File a complaint. Consult a lawyer. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so financial advisors are not shielded from the law. Crypto Spaces said, thanks, your camera dropped. Oh, it's back, my bad. That happens randomly. Everybody likes to blame my computer. Lunar Entity said, ICOs are a vile tactic. Crypto isn't the only victim of pre-sale plays. 90% of IPOs fail in stocks, down forever. And only 5% of the remaining 10% make higher highs. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy that stuff like that still is allowed to happen. Kind of blows my mind. It is what it is, though. People are gullible. ADA is currently up 0.34 cents the daily close. We are sitting below 42, which makes me a little bit sad, but we're above 40, which makes me slightly less sad. I don't like that we've retraced a good chunk of this recovery. We are sitting within the big fat green candle right here, which I'm not a fan of, but we'll see what happens. Wyland said, I hope all is well from the flock. What's going on, Wyland? Appreciate you for stopping by. We gotta have y'all on for an interview soon. I'm trying to see if I can get Charles. I'm also talking to the Snack team potentially, which I'm pretty excited about. I want to get the whole ecosystem interviews. I think that'd be sick. I gotta get Sean back on from Strike because V2 is about to come out. Tishu said JJ doesn't like to look at cryptos that are taking off. I mean, what's Mudang gonna do for me? I'm still kind of butthurt about my stupid watch list disappearing, and I'm like can't recover it for some reason. Okay, this one is up 53% in the last 24 hours. Very cool. Unfortunately, it's at the same price that it was in October. So if you were psychotic enough to buy... Oh, actually, it doesn't look that bad. It does not look that bad. Let's go to the daily. I take back everything negative that I said just now. I don't think I said anything negative, but if I did, I take it back. So you could have made this argument right here. And that argument would have been, this is why you never trust, like if you're trying to buy the Pico bottom, don't just do this and be like, oh, it's going to go all the way down to 5. Because it didn't. It stopped at 7, pretty much. And you can justify it by doing this with hindsight. But you don't always have hindsight, so you almost have to try to front run yourself. Any reason why? Probably had news. They probably had some news. Or maybe they had a CTO, who knows? Maybe somebody dumped a couple $100 into marketing again. A fan page, meme coin of Mudang on Solana. Fan account, okay. Binance Street, blah, blah, blah. That was January, this is 17 hours ago. Who else looks at this pic every day? That is a pretty epic picture. It doesn't look like there's anything crazy, honestly. Oh, okay, X posted on December 5th. That might be it. That might literally be it. It does look like they've been pretty active on X, though, which is great. That's what you want to see, man. As long as the team doesn't abandon it, there's always potential. Always. It's pretty adorable. Okay. Anyways, moving on. SNEC is down, or I'm sorry, up 0.03. Had a little spike. We did look at the possibility of this being some type of a descending trend. Time is money. Cocklock is gold. Okay. Cocklock sounds like something I never want to experience. Crypto Spaces. Yep. Lunar Entity said, I love Charles's pivot from the LOL paper hands to hang in there, guys. I mean, yeah. If it starts to affect your bottom dollar, you're probably going to like shift towards a little more supportive, like positive reinforcement. Like, if your dad's smacking you around and you're starting to do really bad at school, your dad's probably going to stop smacking you around. You know what I mean? You got to do good in school. You got this, champ. Could you imagine how traumatizing that would be? Like, dad normally hits me, and then you come home and your dad's like, I believe in you. You're doing a really good job. You're probably like, what the hell? What happened? Are you on drugs? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that anymore. It's 2025. Anyways, SNEC is chilling. It's been very, I guess I would call it supportive at 13, between like 13 and 15. I just want to see it get back above 15, to be completely honest. 20 is like the big goal, but 15, I don't like that we broke below 15. From a psychological standpoint, that rubs me the wrong way. XRP retraced entirely the dump and recovery that we had from the Japanese carry trade scenario. So no surprise here. Dump, retrace, dump. You know, I don't know why that happened. It kind of sucks. I like that it's establishing a higher low, though. I'm not mad at that. Volume could be a little bit better. This is specific to Binance, though. But Binance, I believe, is responsible for majority of the volume that we get. Crypto Spaces said, Ben Cowan thinks since we didn't get euphoria, we shouldn't expect the typical bear market. That's just his dubious speculation, though. He's been wrong about so much stuff that I kind of can't really take him seriously anymore. I love the guy, but he seems a little hell-bent on being right all the time, which is kind of a meme in the crypto space. Lunar Entity said, I think another huge catalyst in 2026, the acknowledgement from the CFTC that Bitcoin and Ethereum are commodities. Yeah, I think regulation is going to be a big one, for sure. I think rate cuts are going to be huge. New Fed chair is going to be enormous. I don't even think people realize how big that's going to be. And I think, I'm still unsure if Powell's going to do it or not, but I think quantitative easing is going to start a lot sooner than they think. So much stuff is breaking so fast that they're going to have no choice. And I think it might be a little more lucrative than the pandemic, if I'm being completely honest. But that might just be biased because I wasn't really paying attention to it back then, and I'm paying attention to it now. And paying attention to it seems a lot more scary than not paying attention to it. Blockchain Bruce said another like from us. Smash the like button and hit that subscribe bell. Appreciate you guys. Guys, if you haven't already, go check out Blockchain Brew. I jump on there from time to time. It's a great show. Love you guys. It's a fun time for sure. Anyways, XRP, I like the higher low. Continuous higher lows. We got 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. So Trend reversal potential is there for sure. We are about to get a bullish crossover with the moving average and the RSI, which is awesome. Green dot of the momentum wave pointing the upside as well. Money flow is still negative, but it is what it is. Tishu said Ben has had a few good calls. He's not going to be right 100% all the time, but he acts like he is. I think that's my issue. And he's such a cocky asshole on X, which can only get you so far, in my opinion. I would never want to like hang out with the guy for a weekend. I'd love to meet him, pick his brain. I think he's a tremendously smart guy, for sure. I'm not trying to discount him. He's a smart dude. You know, he's got millions of subscribers. I think he deserves every single one of them. But he doesn't seem like, he doesn't seem that friendly. He's not somebody that I would want to, like, hang out with, you know. Crypto Spaces said they're taken serious because of ETFs. It's just retail isn't showing up. Ben has a social risk chart that shows retail didn't show up the entire cycle. I believe it. We are the retail. Yeah, dude, that's why there's only 9 of us here. Blockchain Brew said, I love you too. You put on a great show as well. Appreciate you guys. Crypto Spaces said, you love Ben if you're a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not, I don't not love him. I don't love him though. Is that weird? He kind of reminds me of my cousin too, and my cousin's kind of an asshole. But I don't know. There's a certain level of pretentiousness that I just can't look past. And I think Ben Cowan has that. And I feel like you have to be a little bit pretentious to be on YouTube, so it makes sense. But the guy's, he's book smart. He's not street smart. I never expected him to be. He shouldn't care anyways. You know, that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's move on. H-bar. H-bar. Do you guys remember when Kevin O'Leary was talking about this? He was talking about H-bar like it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Apparently now he's flipped the script. He is quoted, and it's actually right here. Oh, man, this cycled all the way back up. Hang on. Right here. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary says most of these altcoins, what I call poo-poo coins, are done. Only Bitcoin and Ethereum will survive. This dude flip-flops so much, and I think that that's why he has so much less money than Mark Cuban. Like, as far as money goes, Mark Cuban literally, like, buries Kevin O'Leary. It's almost embarrassing how much more money Kevin O'Leary or Mark Cuban has than Kevin O'Leary. But I think that's because Mark Cuban has conviction. And Kevin O'Leary's just like, nah, I don't really care about H-bar anymore. And I don't know if he was paid to market it or something, or I have no clue, but he literally was talking about H-bar like it was curing cancer and like putting people on the moon again or something. It was weird. Lunar Entity said Kevin is a snake, not a shark. Dang! That's a good one. Crypto Spaces said, yep, I read that. Lunar Entity said, nah, I love ETH and I like Ben. He tries so hard to be right, though. ETH maxis really hate him, though. Blockchain Brew said, H-bar is the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's kind of like Jim Cramer. Yeah, that's actually a great comparison. Only, I feel like Jim Cramer would be entertaining to, like, have dinner with. Kevin O'Leary would just be, like, a dick the whole time. He'd be like, you know, I get $1 every time somebody sells this actual brand of forks. I don't think I've ever actually sat down and seen them at a dining table, but this is my brand. I get $1 every time one of these sells. And you're like, oh, shut the hell up. Why are you here? Crypto Spaces said H-bar got an ETF. They did, actually. And unfortunately, it didn't really help. They got an ETF back here, I believe. And it has since gone pew. But it is consolidating right now, so the potential is there. Putting in higher lows. 1, 2, 3. And lower highs. 1, 2, 3. We'll call it. So the potential for a break to the upside is very nice. It is very symmetrical, though, so it could go either direction. Kramer is way more likable than Kevin. 100%. Lunar Entity said, I would honestly love to pick Kramer's brain off there. His investment strategies must be so different in private. Oh, there's no way he doesn't get paid to just shill random crap. And is he legally obligated? I don't know. There's probably some weird, like, gray area where people, like, pay him. Or maybe they just lobby. They donate to him. And he's like, well, whoever my biggest donor is today, I'm going to advise people to buy him. And that's just his personal thing. He doesn't tell anybody else about it. But, like, the organizations, you know, they know. That's just my... it's just a complete guess, honestly. Crypto Spaces said the whales are accumulating for alt season. That's what I'm saying, dude. Whales and institutions are buying and everyone's bearish because there's only like 5 or 10 of us sitting here. SWE looks good. It's up 1.62% on the day. Higher lows. We kind of got a breakout from this falling wedge, if you can even call it that. It's a very, very large falling wedge. And we got our little fake out, our initial fake out, which, you know, this is a good setup for me, personally. I love this setup. I'm not a big fan of the fact that we hadn't retested this, but we don't have to retest every single breakout. We got a bullish crossover the moving average on the RSI, red dot on the momentum, or actually red dot on market cipher. Back on Wednesday, potentially has played out. So green dot on the momentum wave, point to the upside with the bullish crossover the moving average. And Saturday, thin liquidity makes for an easy push up. Lunar Entity said, I would argue he's an old school Bitcoin holder in private. He was talking about it in 2010 and 2011. Who, Jim Cramer? That's actually sick. Ando is up 0.36% on the day, currently trading at 46.96. I was talking a little bit of crap, but it does look a little better today. I'm gonna do one of these, and then what else can I make? Full. Yeah, it's sloppy. It's kind of there though. Yeah, we'll see what this does, if it does anything at all. We did get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI. Price currently sitting at 46.96, like I said. Let's see if we can get back above 50. Green dot on the momentum wave after very slightly oversold. Yeah, let's see if we get a push up from here. Arrows up 0.18. I feel like when this thing does wake up, it takes off pretty hard. And for some reason, my brain thinks that that's going to happen soon. I don't know why. Look at this. It had a dump, recovery, dump, recovery. Why is it repeating? It's kind of creepy looking. Like, this looks like a miniature version of this entirely. Let's get back above 76.03 though, and then start talking, because 76.03 seems like a harsh resistance right now. Can't even touch it, honestly. Green dot of the momentum wave, dancing around the moving average on the RSI. Pin link down 0.91. We are back in our resistance, and can we stay above 12? I don't know. It's entering oversold, which is good, but we'll see if we get a bounce off of that. Renders up 0.62. This has been completely flat. Almost like scary how flat this has been. Look at that. You had dump, recovery, dump, flatline. That's a little threatening. The RSI is a little bit weird as well. Look at the RSI. Getting a bullish cross, but it's flat. And green dot on your momentum wave. Point to the upside. Lunar Entity said, I would argue he's an old school. Yep, I read that. 2011 was also the year Obama mentioned Bitcoin and CNBC covered it. Interesting. Yeah, see, I feel like these people have been in it for a while. Because when you reach that level of status, you just have extra money to speculate and stuff like that. Rio Meta Crypto said, dump it. Maybe. That might be what happens. It is Saturday, so even if we do pump, we're probably going to dump Sunday, Monday to fill the CME gap. Stellar's up 0.21%, below 25, which makes me a little bit sad. We'll see if it does end up coming down to touch this lower trend line around 23. It's at 23.99 right now. I would love to see it stay above 24. That'd be pretty sick. Bullish crossover the moving average on the RSI about to happen. And we do have a green dot on our momentum wave, point to the upside. Polka dot up 0.28% on the day. We are establishing a higher low, which is good, but is it going to help us at all? RSI is potentially crossing that moving average, and we got a green dot on the momentum wave. Ty 7 said, my cock is growing. We do love cock here. The meme coin specifically. Crypto Spaces said, imagine a market where crypto goes up like stocks. I can only dream. That's like the most meta thing I've ever seen, and it's actually true, which drives me crazy. Because we used to meme about that. We used to joke. Like, oh, the stock market's up 1.2%, big deal. We're like, our crypto's up 5% in the last 10 minutes. And that doesn't happen anymore. How the tables have turned. Lunar Entity said, you don't have to dream. BNB exists. Dang. We found CZ's alt account. Crypto Spaces said, Base Chain releases Base app on December 17th. Ooh, I think that there's a bet for that on rally market that I probably should have taken. Saeed Quadri said, hi, sir. How you doing, Saeed? I hope you're doing well. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button down below. I appreciate you guys for being here. And if you haven't already, join the Discord. Links in the description. It's completely free. Always will be. Ton of fun. Believe it or not, the stock picks channel in the Discord is a brilliant place to hang out. Tons of great stock picks. Made quite a bit of money on there. But again, that kind of goes back to the bull market thing. I'm going to shut my door really quick. That goes back to the bull market thing because the stock market has been performing very, very nicely. And that's how a bull market or alt season usually goes. Everyone feels like a genius because they just throw money at any altcoin and they make like an instant overnight 10 to 15x. The stock market has basically been what alt season normally is. So I'm telling you right now, the stock picks in the stock channel and the Discord are great, but in reality, any stock pick anywhere has performed very nicely for the most part. As long as you don't pick like actual garbage, which is pretty easy. It's actually easier to pick stocks than it is to pick crypto, in my opinion, because you can actually look at the company and like see the data. Lunar Entity said, a big point of why stocks stay elevated is buybacks. A Romanian dev basically explained what he learned from his ICO. Gotta buy the token back. Interesting. Very interesting. Interesting indeed. Okay. Fartcoin. Fartcoin is down 0.21% on the day, seemingly struggling to get above 40, which is interesting because it has had quite a tear since hitting 20. So it's up 100% basically from down here. Wow, that's crazy. So if you were a genius and you went all in at the Pico low, you're up 107% right now, which is pretty cool. That's pretty rare to say in today's crypto world. Hopefully that changes soon. I like that Cowan is talking about the lack of retail. I feel like I've felt that way for quite some time, and I think that everyone has known that for a while. Crypto Spaces said Fartcoin actually strong. Isn't that funny? Dude, everyone hates it so much, and it's been the best performer this past month. Lunar Entity said the VCs that built your industry took profits. Exactly. Crypto Spaces said, what happened to the industry? I love to shake my head. Crypto? Yeah. I think it's here. I think last market was hype. There was a lot of hype, a lot of liquidity, and a lot of retail. Those people kind of left, and they have not returned. And believe it or not, I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than the fact that no one has money right now, which is kind of weird because with the way that the market went, we should probably be struggling as well. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not struggling. I mean, I'm not ready to retire. I'm not a homeowner yet, but I'm not struggling. It's kind of trippy. It almost makes me feel guilty because are the people that left and never came back struggling? And if they are, how is that the case if they left a scam and we stayed in the scam? You know what I mean? It's almost ironic in a very cruel way. Lunar Entity said most VCs were very early to the scene. Majority were 2010, 2011. Some of the major VC firms have 2009 filings. Interesting. Caspa is one of the few coins that has surprised people this past month. Yeah, this past month. It's currently sitting at 51.23. Can I adjust this line? I feel like I can adjust this line, right? So we're going to do that for now. And see if we can get back above 51.78. Maybe get a breakout here. Or even if we do, let me not adjust that actually. Let me leave that there and see if this is the fake out before the breakout in the proper direction. Blockchain Brew said Moodang. Yes, we did look at Moodang. I believe it's because OKX posted the picture. Dude, poo-poo and brain rot. Let's go. But oh, Moodang's right here. Sweet. Yeah, Moodang's up 50% on the day. Very cool. And we drew this trend line, and we were talking about how most people probably drew this trend line. And unfortunately, people would trick themselves into thinking it has to go down here. It has to go to 49.50. And I will not buy until it gets to that point. Instead of front running themselves like you should do, they wait until the end, and then they're like, oh well, I missed it. Missed opportunity. Because they tried, unfortunately, to be a little bit greedy. But as long as you have a plan and stick to it, A lot of times I think those people would FOMO right here, or even up here, and then they'll end up getting wicked out, which sucks. But I do like Mudang, one of the few coins that I thoroughly enjoy, because I'm a fan of adorable animals. And as far as I'm concerned, meme coins' only purpose is to be funny, cute, make you laugh, make you smile, maybe make you cry, who knows. It's a meme coin. That's the entire purpose. So if it does its job, I'm a buyer. I historically invest in the worst meme coins, except for Cardano native meme coins. I'm very good at picking Cardano native meme coins. I don't know why. But on Solana, on Sui, all of my meme coins went to 0. And that probably is because I didn't take profit when I should have. So it's probably my fault more than anybody else's. Matter of fact, I think I'm almost positive it is. That's just the way that the market works. But I am historically bad at picking meme coins on any other chain. Crypto Spaces said people have money, but sports betting and prediction markets, that too, actually. I think Fahid mentioned that a couple months ago, and that has been on my mind ever since. What's nice is that a lot of those are integrated with crypto, which maybe will bring back the masses. Who knows? Crypto Spaces said crypto needs the crazy euphoria for retail to return. That's true. I think retail returns afterwards and they buy our bags, essentially. They're the exit liquidity, I think, every time. Lunar Entity said, keep in mind that the majority of retail liquidity is made up of the top 10%. Really? I had no idea. That's actually kind of crazy. Okay. Anyways, Cass, let's see if we can get back above. As long as we're staying above 0.05, I'm happy. But I would love to get above this 5178 and maybe make a breakout for the upside. RSI is in a very nice spot for a potential breakout pretty soon, and we got a green dot on the momentum wave point of the upside. Money flow was positive for the entirety of that flag, except for like the past day or two. Crypto Spaces said, but we are the retail. Oops, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not. Like, I'm probably like below. Well, I would say I'm maybe top 90%. If I'm lucky, I'm out of the bottom 10. I'm going to assume that you have to have a house, though, in order to be out of the bottom 10. So maybe I am in the bottom 10. Lunar Entity said, we don't matter. That's not what my mom said. Avalanche still dancing around its very important, what I call legacy trend line. I like that we continue to bounce off of this. We are getting a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI, and we got a green dot on the momentum wave, point to the upside. This trend line, in case for anyone new here, has been relevant technically since September 2023, but if you went all the way back, we're looking at December 2020. But that was the first point, so we're not going to count that. We're going to count our second point, which established the trend. And this is our third point that we're creating right now, which is just touching the trend line. We got 3 touches so far. We're literally in the makings of the third touch. If we can continue to bounce off of this, that would be ideal. And we're looking at some pretty decent sized potential upside, in my opinion. Lunar Entity said the bottom 70% of the economy is only reflected in unemployment statistics, which I find hilarious and sad. Jesus. That is actually kind of crazy. I'm gonna name a movie night movie, and the assignment or the idea is for you guys to go watch it, just for fun. Tonight's movie recommendation is going to be, in my opinion, one of the greatest accidental documentaries of all time. Idiocracy. It is a brilliant movie. Highly recommend. It's got Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's brother. He does not say wow as eloquently, but he is a brilliant actor. Thoroughly enjoy. And also, I believe he has Dax Shepard, who was very famous from Without a Panel, another great movie. Highly recommend that too. So we'll do 2. We'll do 2 tonight. Idiocracy and Without a Paddle. Not financial advice. Go check them out. Crypto Spaces said we can only have a bull run with Bitcoin going up. As far as we are aware, we can only have a bull run with Bitcoin going up. Lunar Entity said, it's got what plants crave. Crypto Spaces said, imagine a world where alts outperform Bitcoin and Bitcoin maxis seed. That would be hilarious. That would be freaking hilarious. Imagine a world where a different cryptocurrency flips Bitcoin. What are they going to do when, because Tether or Circle is going to flip Bitcoin. The stablecoins are doing what every other cryptocurrency sought out to do at the beginning. instead of XRP being like the global, whatever they call it, the crypto that you use to like move money around the world, it's going to be Tether or Circle via whatever the hell network they want. And Tether and Circle, because they're measured for whatever reason on CoinMarketCap still, are going to flip Bitcoin. Both of them probably. Bitcoin's going to be the third largest cryptocurrency, and the Bitcoin maxis are going to crumble. And it's going to be, I don't even know if it's going to be funny. I think it's actually going to be very sad and weird and uncomfortable. Like you guys ever see the video of the intervention? The dad's an alcoholic, and the kid's like, I still love you. And the dad goes, nah. That's like how he cries. That's what's going to happen. When the stablecoins flip Bitcoin, that is what's going to happen. Michael Saylor's going to go on live, and he's going to do that. And it's going to be really awkward. And then he's going to become a raging alcoholic. It's weird. It's going to be weird, man. Lunar Entity said, it isn't impossible that Ethereum flips Bitcoin for a cycle. Tech flipped gold once in the 90s. It's not impossible. I agree, actually. I do agree. Okay. Avalanche looks great. Chainlink is up 0.14% on the day, currently trading at 13.94. Can we get above 14.41? This is what I'm looking for out of everything. We got our dump. We got our instantaneous recovery. I want to stay above that neckline. And then we get our pump and dump, bounce, continuation. This is what the charts should all look like right here. Chainlink is the perfect example. And none of the other altcoins are doing this for some reason. And it's driving me crazy. So, whoever's selling, you suck. And I thoroughly dislike you. But Chainlink looks great. I like the bounce off of 1350. And I would love to see us break above 1441 and eventually 15. Doge is up 0.19. A little flat line. Retrace most of the dump and pump. That's kind of funny. We never have a dump and pump. That's like the most backwards thing I've ever said in my entire life. Real Meta Crypto said, I'm shorting Snack. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Make money. Lunar Entity said, oh, yep, I read that. As tech and the tech popped and gold took a dump on the sector for over a decade. Crypto Spaces said, I remember that meme. That's a good one. It's such a good one. Lunar Entity said, you could also use Bitcoin as a metric for USD inflation in the crypto space, similar to how gold is used to measure real inflation. Yeah. So with Doge, we got a potential bullish cross over the moving average coming in. We got a green dot in the momentum wave, point to the upside, with a potential flip of money flow soon-ish. We haven't had green money flow consistently for quite some time on Doge. So desperately need that. Near... kind of bouncing off of 169. We'll see if it continues to the upside. It's really very sideways, actually. We got a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI. Green dot on the momentum wave. Let's see if we can get some upside out of that. Pengu's up 1.9% on the day. Again, we retraced a good chunk of our dump and pump. And it does seem like we're bouncing off of, I guess, 105. We're at 113 right now. Can we get above 115 and stay above it? We got a potential fugly inverse head and shoulder here, maybe. Or just a triple bottom. Who knows? We got a higher low, though. Higher low is good. There's bullish signs for some upside potential. Crypto Spaces said, I was promised a bullish Q4. Nope. Bearish. LOL. I'm still looking at... I've been saying 2026 for almost a year. Ty7 said, you should do a review of Coin's yummy chicken wings from their food truck franchise. I actually would love to do that. If I get time in the summer, then I'm probably going to plan some sort of a road trip thing and document the whole thing, because I think that would be super fun. And the Cocky Wings truck would 1000% be on that bucket list. It'd probably be the main cornerstone, because as far as I'm aware, there's really nothing else, at least crypto related, worth traveling to that is on like the east coast of the United States, because I'm not driving all the way out to Vegas. That's crazy. My friends are trying to get me to go to Rare Evo. I'm thinking about it. It'd be expensive, mostly time spent, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I definitely want to chill with the boys for sure. But yeah, Pengu looks decent. We'll see if we get a recovery from here. Silver's up 2.1% on the day, currently trading at 58.29. The fractal looks okay. I think this is the same as it was yesterday. We got this potential reversal candle. We'll see if that ends up playing out. And the fractal decoupled a little bit. Price almost doing the opposite of the fractal, which is going to make a cool, like, infinity loop on accident. But we'll see if it recouples and continues doing its thing. For now, though, we got a confirmed red dot on market cipher, kind of at the Pico top right here. If you don't count that wick, looking at 58.70 something. And we'll see if that plays out. Green dot in the momentum wave, though. Money flow's been positive for forever. Looks great. Gold. Oh, I keep doing that. My bad. Gold is also still dumpy. We got 42.20-ish. Yeah, 42.20 is the resistance that we're trying to get above. Red dot in the momentum wave. Positive money flow. Bearish crossover the moving average. DXY. Flatlining. 98.98. Strategy. Big B coffee. Rejecting 186.17. NASDAQ. Looking beautiful. We'll see if this continues come Monday. Same with the S&P. Fractal 3.0. Rest in peace 1.0 and 2.0. And back to Bitcoin. Up 0.19% on the day. Currently trading at 89,402 and 60 cents. Looking good. Lunar Entity said Q4 is more neutral than anything. If you look at the monthly data, we've dumped, we've pumped, we've even gone sideways. But have we gone backwards yet? That is the ultimate question. I do not believe that we have. Dominance 59.17. And Bitcoin chilling. News segment. We've got Coinbase. Coinbase posted this beauty. They said it's beginning to look a lot like a recovery. We think crypto could be poised for a December recovery as liquidity improves. Fed cut odds jump to 92% as of December 4th, and macro tailwinds build. Here's why. Liquidity is recovering. The supposed AI bubble hasn't burst. There's still room to run. Short USD trades are attractive at current levels. In October, we teased this positioning reset, citing our custom M2 index, anticipating November weakness and a December reversal. This could be the starting line for crypto market momentum to reassert itself. Get insight like this from our research team's market commentary on a weekly basis by subscribing to Coinbase One if you haven't already. Very cool, but I do like the chart. We got M2 money supply rising, historic levels at this point, and every time it pumps like that and dumps, Bitcoin pumps and dumps. Pumps. And then we got our little dump right here, which has resulted in a very big Bitcoin dump. Is that from leverage? Is it from liquidity? Who knows? But we're pumping now. So is Bitcoin going to pump to kind of go alongside that? Hopefully. We'll see what happens. Crypto Spaces said, I am positioned non. Very cool. Let's see. Hold on. Lunar Entity said, if we manage to go backwards, I'm buying some Bitcoin. Right. Crypto Spaces said Coinbase about to send base chain 1000x. Lunar Entity said Coinbase was also hyping October in its newsletter, almost like a Kramer signal. My favorite so far is the trading view. Whenever it says buy or strong buy, that's almost always a sell. Every single time. Look at the seasonals, man. Look at how crazy the seasonals looks. This is the second time. 2021, Bitcoin went down. 2025, Bitcoin's going down. So technically speaking, if you want to call it a 4-year cycle, that's your proof right there. That is your proof right there. So we'll see, man. We will see. 2020, it seems like, was the best year for Bitcoin. 2020 and then 2023 also looked really, really good. So it's almost like a 3-year cycle, which would put us at 2026. Isn't that weird? Whoa! That's kind of weird, isn't it? It's a little weird. Kind of weird if you ask me. Isn't that weird? Lunar Entity said one chart I keep an eye on is M2V, shows the strength of global liquidity entering into asset markets. M2V. I feel like I never know how to read these. Velocity of M2 money stock. Okay, take me through. Why do I have to click the button every time? It drives me crazy. That's the most white person privilege bullshit I've ever complained about. Okay, 1.39. I don't know why it does this. Can you just like give me the normal chart? The way that I'm supposed to look at it? There we go. Okay, so we got an increase. Interesting. So this is January, April 2020. This has been like a consistent downtrend since 1997. Jeez. That's right. I can only look at the 3-month like a maniac. All right, so let's look at it on a more macro or more micro scenario. We have been sideways essentially since April of last year, which very much explains Bitcoin. Look at this. We got our bottom April 20th, and then July, it kind of does a little Adam Eve scenario right here, or a cup and handle and cup, if you will. October through January. And then we got January 2022 uptrend to October of 2023. So almost 2 full years. And that kind of checks out with what Bitcoin did, doesn't it? And then we got sideways since then. Interesting. I like that. We'll have to maybe side by side that eventually. And that's a good read, for sure. Anyways, Bitcoin 89, 409, and 36 cents. We are chilling. Continuing the news segment. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary says most of these altcoins, what I call poo-poo coins, are done. God, he's such a boomer. Anyways, anti-crypto Peter Schiff challenges President Trump to a debate on the U.S. economy after Trump called him a loser. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good. I like it. I like that our president is just such an asshole. It makes me so happy. France's third largest bank, BPCE, to allow customers to buy and sell Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and USDC. Very cool. Weakness in the U.S. labor market is intensifying. U.S. non-farm employment fell 9,000 in November, marking the second consecutive monthly decline, according to Revelio. The firm compiles data from company career pages such as LinkedIn and Indeed and staffing agencies. This comes as private employment dropped 19,400 while the government added 10,400 jobs. Furthermore, October's decline was revised sharply lower by 6,400 jobs to 15,500. This brings total downward revisions to 158,800 over the last 4 months. Non-farm payrolls have now posted 5 declines over the last 7 months, the worst streak in at least 5 years. What was 5 years ago, you ask? Why, the 2020 pandemic. What came during and after that? Quantitative easing. I'm just saying.
Tangia tipping platform. Insert payment here.
Tangia tipping platform. Risk It 101. Tangia tipping platform. Let's go take a look. Tangia. Is that like I'm assuming that's a project that you're requesting? Tangia. Maybe? I don't know. Nope. Maybe? I don't know. Let's go see. Let's go see. Maybe it's on Dex Screener. Thank you for the $3.33 super chat. I appreciate you very much. Tangia? No. Oh. Well, thank you for the super chat. If you are asking me for a project or something, then let me know in the chat and I will for sure take a look at it for you. Otherwise, I appreciate you. Lunar Entity said, if you openly challenge someone to debate you after being called a loser, you lost twice. That is pretty funny. Honestly, that is pretty hilarious. No chart, just tipping platform. Well, thank you very much. Like, is there... interactive streaming. Oh! This? Okay. Combining cutting edge AE type feedback loop, next gen tools. I will for sure check this out. This is pretty sick. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look at this for sure. Nice. Thank you very much. Lunar Entity said institutions almost forced easing in 1998. One firm leveraged 20 billion for 1.25 trillion and nearly blew up. That's crazy. That is insane. All right. Where were we? Did we read all of this? This brings total downward revisions to 158,800 over the last 4 months. Non-farm payrolls have now posted 5 declines over the last 7 months. Your streak in at least 5 years. Deterioration of the job market is accelerating. Billy said, JJ, can you bring up the list you made of alts might not come back? Yes, I can. May 4th, 2024, the day the Fed lost control. Fed Chair Powell responds to concerns about stagflation. I don't see the stag or the flation. 18 months later, inflation is still at 3%, and the labor market is at its weakest level since the pandemic. Own assets. Boom. What a loser. I'm just kidding. The list of alts that I said might not come back, and this is, again, my strict speculation, entirely based on the idea of them not able to hold market share. Look at that fractal, looks great, doesn't it? Okay, where is everything? Here we go. We've got, if we are in a bear market, these are my targets. And then we've got, if we are in a bear market, these are blue chips I don't think will recover. And that is strictly based on the idea of them not being able to hold on to the percentage of market that they hold at the moment. I don't think that they'll recover if we enter a bear market. HBAR, Toncoin, ICP, and then my flavor of the weak coins that have to put in more work or risk disappearing forever. Hype, Zcash, Sui, Toncoin, Crow, Aster, ICP, Aptos, ENA, Pi, Ondo, and WorldCoin. And there's no rhyme or reason other than the fact that I don't see any reason for them to stick around, if I'm being completely honest. Aster and Hype are both DEXs. So they do have use case, they have revenue, so they have a stronger shot for sure. Zcash is privacy, but I think that other projects are just going to implement privacy features. Sui has a whole ecosystem built underneath it. Ton, I'm convinced, is a scam. Crow has crypto.com, so they also have revenue. Like, some of these projects have a good chance. They have a good foundation, but I think that they need to put in some work before, in my opinion, they have the potential to stick around for good. The fractal that I have on this stupid chart looks amazing right now, though. Let's see if that ends up playing out. Bitcoin, 4 hour, we are still chilling, 89, 431 and 30 cents. Tisha said May the 4th. Exactly. He got vadered. Lunar Entity said inflation is transitory until institutions need capital. I was hoping for 1800 ETH. I was going to read that as 1-800 ETH. Actually, bummed currently. I mean, you never know. We are at 3K. It did go all the way down to like 27. So you were only off by about 100%. It's not that big of a deal. U.S. small business bankruptcies are surging as if there is a recession. A record 2,221 small firms have filed for bankruptcy under the Subchapter V year to date. Subchapter V, 5 I'm assuming, allows businesses and individuals with under $3 million in debt to reorganize more quickly and cheaply than traditional Chapter 11. Bankruptcies have risen 83% over the last 5 years. Wow. This surge has continued despite the debt limit being reduced from 7.5 million to 3 million last year, which made it harder for larger businesses to qualify. The increase has been driven by persistently high borrowing costs, cautious consumer spending, and overall economic uncertainty, which have weighed on small business earnings. U.S. small firms are struggling. Yeah, the little man's going to disappear entirely if they don't do something about it. Kobe yesterday letter published. The U.S. Treasury Secretary just posted this, and the White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett is about to become the Fed chairman. 2026 is going to be a wild year. Franklin the Turtle bought U.S. Treasuries. Crazy. I don't know why the Franklin the Turtle meme is taken off to the point where, like, government officials are posting it, but it's kind of hilarious. Lunar Entity said they defended 2,500 like crazy. Bitcoin nuked its short-term holders at 94K, but Ethereum short-term holders survived 2,500 as a cost basis before stop-loss cascade. I will say, as crazy bearish as the entire market seems and as little retail is left and everyone insists that we're going to zero, alts have legitimately held their own very, very impressively. Bitcoin going down like crazy and altcoins not like going down 10x more than Bitcoin has me very thoroughly impressed. And I don't know if it's just because there's a lack of sellers because there's a lack of investors to begin with, but I'm still impressed regardless. Investing is more popular than ever. Average daily share volume across on and off exchange U.S. markets has surged to a record 17.5 billion shares year to date. Average daily turnover has nearly tripled over the last 8 years. This comes as off exchange trading volume as a percentage of total stock trading has averaged a record 51% year to date, making its third consecutive annual increase. This reflects activity on platforms that match brokerage orders, a common proxy for participation of retail investors. Meanwhile, U.S. options volume has tripled since 2019 to 72.8 million contracts per day in October, an all-time high. Everyone wants a piece of this market. I think that it's almost a necessity at this point. If you don't want your money to disappear, you have to invest. That is the only way to put it. If you don't invest, then your money is going to disappear with inflation. And that, in my opinion, is why the stock market is going to continue to outperform everything. Maybe not for the foreseeable future, but for now. Tisha said, I'm waiting for JJ to turn really bearish, then I'll buy. See, I think that's the problem. I don't know if I'll ever turn really bearish. I really don't. Like, I could lose all of my money, and I don't think I would turn really bearish. I've reached that point of numb where I don't know. I've reached a point of numb that I'm not even aware anymore. Risk It 101 said article implies 2020 was clearly manipulated. Which article? This guy? "2020 widespread move to free trading." I don't know. Okay, U.S. home sellers are exiting the market at rapid pace. U.S. home delistings rose 18,460 year over year, or 28% in September to 84,278, the highest for that month since 2017. A home is considered delisted if it stays off the market for over 31 days without selling or going under contract. Delistings have increased 38,527, or 84% over the last 4 years. As a result, delistings now reflect 5.5% of all home listings, the highest September percentage since at least 2016. The typical home delisted in September sat on the market for 100 days before the seller pulled it. The U.S. housing market is frozen. So JJ, is it permeable? Well, yeah. I mean, the market has shown that it's stupid to be bearish over long periods of time. Look at Bitcoin. You're going to sit here and tell me that this is bearish? This is bearish? Like, it's kind of up only. Even the gigantic, monstrous retraces are up only. Let me get a cleaner chart. This is such a mess. I'm almost embarrassed about my dang Bitcoin chart. I'm so sorry. I don't usually have company. Yeah, look at this. Beautiful uptrend. And it's got like a parabola, which I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that's one of my favorite words. This is a beautiful parabola. That's a little frightening, but we're going to ignore that. We're going to pretend that it does this, and then it's very smooth parabola. Look at that. Come on. You going to tell me that's not permeable worthy? Lunar Entity said, well, yes, it was. 2020 was a debt refinancing cycle. Corporate bonds especially needed to be rolled into a cycle via financing. Lunar Entity also said it also allowed companies to readjust buyback programs and load up. Tisha said, oh, look, JJ looking at a long-term chart. Yes. Yes. Number go up. Short term. Number also go up. I can't zoom out that much, but if I do this, you can really see it. Long-term buy, 1,000%. Or as the kids like to say, 100. Next week is rate cut week. Tomorrow is the weekly close, which so far is looking red, but this is a big fat reversal candle. Problem is, we're reversing an uptrend. So, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's look at the monthly. So far, December is I mean, if it closes like this, that would be ideal because that is also a reversal candle, which would be like a boop. Because that's what happened right here. Look at that bad boy. That would be the exact same move, which would be hilarious because no one thinks that that's what's going to happen. And the fractal actually demands that that's what's going to happen. And I am the fractal Farquaad, so. Teacher said you have merch with number go up. You should. I feel like I do. I don't remember. I should probably remember my own merch. It's been a while. That's the wrong link. Whoops. JJ shop. Okay. Number go up. Do we have number go? We have Rise and Grind, Twisted Ashley, which is an inside joke. It's freaking hilarious if you haven't seen it yet. I've never lost a single trade. I've lost multiple. Fell asleep without a stop loss. The Heat +1. Number go up. We got a number go up beanie. Do I have it on a shirt? I don't know if I put it on a shirt. I think it's just a beanie, which is just in time for Christmas. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just the beanie. We got some really old school horse guy stuff. We got the Coffee Ghost, Sleepy Ghost, and Coffee Beanie Ghost. We got the boys chilling in mom's basement with the snack energy. Oh yeah. Fun times. Go check it out if you guys are interested. Just in time for Christmas. I think, I don't know if that threshold is passed to get it in time. I have no idea if I'm being completely honest. I did get an email about it. I don't think I've sold merch in forever. Somebody randomly will occasionally buy a couple of shirts or something though. So whoever you are, I appreciate you. Okay. Bitcoin's still chilling, $89,300. I'm going to try to do some video game stuff, I'm thinking. Bitcoin logo with number go up would be cool. I can do that. I'll probably forget, but if I don't, then I will for sure do it. Latest. This is Bitcoin's second worst Q4. Q4 minus 21.35. The first worst is in 2018, minus 42.16. So we could, in theory, go down another 20-some%. I will say, though, following this was a plus 8.74% Q1 and a plus 159.36% Q2, which is pretty damn sick. And I would title, honestly, given that, and then the minus 22, minus 13, 2019 was a net positive. So, if this is what we're modeling after, I'm totally okay with that. Interesting. It's so interesting to look at this stuff, all of these different metrics. I want a shirt that's has he bought in front and dump it on the back. That's a good one. I'm going to take a picture so that I can make these. I'm 69K buy limit. Honestly, the people that have the ridiculous low, like the buy limits, the limit orders, where people go, it's never going that low. Those people are the winners. Because look what happened on October 10th. Those people had their buy orders hit, and they were instantly in profit. Literally, just like that. Ridiculous amount of profit as well. So those people that are patient and meticulous and methodical, props to you. You deserve the profits. You deserve the wins. Definitely have more patience than I do. For sure. Update. The Bitcoin ETF saw another week of net outflows. It's been nothing but outflows for the ETF for quite some time, it seems. Western Union is launching stable cards and its own coin to protect remittances in high inflation economies. I don't know what any of that means. To be completely honest, I forgot Western Union existed. So hopefully this helps them. The Solana ETF saw net inflows of $19.2 million this week. Very cool. Stock Money Lizards posted another gem. Altcoins look dead. Good. You don't get 10x when the market is hyped. You get it when everyone is scared. My plan is simple. Watch 3-day/1 week RSI plus 200-week exponential moving average. Pick 2 to 3 coins. DCA in. No bottom sniping fantasies. If my average ends up 20 to 30% above the bottom, fine. Perfection is a myth. Execution isn't. When I trade, I follow setups. When I invest, I follow sentiment. Euphoria equals sell. Panic equals buy. And yes, taking profits at 20%, 50%, 100% is smart. Opportunities don't vanish, they rotate. You don't need to wait 4 years for the next chance. That's just cope. Not financial advice, just my experience. Do your own research. P.S. Don't think about doing this with leverage. I will say, with all of this, if we go into a bear market, the reason I'm not freaking out is because I, on paper, can prove to myself, which is all that matters, that I made more money in the bear market than the bull market. So I'm not mad if we go into a bear market. And maybe that's because this bull market was trash, but if that's the case, at least I know I can make money in a bear market to begin with. So we'll get there when we get there. Lunar Entity said it means lenders want the poly market money. 100%. 100%. Addresses with 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin are buying like never before, and everyone is bearish. They think that these people are buying the top and they're about to get wrecked and lose their money for forever. That's just silly. TechDev posted every cycle. It's been the same. Business cycle reverses. Small cap stocks break out. Altcoins soar. The business cycle is reversing and small cap stocks are breaking out. Interesting. With that said, let's ask Grog. I'm going to ask Grog. Give me a list of 5 small cap stocks that I should keep an eye on for the business cycle. For the potential business cycle flip. Okay. Continuing. Yeah, business cycle chart from TechDev. Let's actually go take a look at that specific chart. That's an article in that link. The chart is right here. Bam. We got cross, bottom, explosion. 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 So, are you going to listen to an indicator that's been right pretty much every single time, or are you going to fantasize about this 4-year cycle that everyone's told you about for the past year? We also got this bad boy, which has been right for like a century, literally 100 years. And you're going to tell me with a straight face that this is wrong as well? Okay. Okay. Bitcoin chilling. TechDev chart we looked at. Let's see what Grok said. Let me check the chat beforehand. Lunar Entity said retail is a lot smarter than institutions. When volatility picks up, 80% of institutions use at least 33x. Institutions and bonds use 63 to 100x. That's crazy. I'm kind of a weenie about my leverage lately. Here's a list of 5 small cap stocks worth monitoring for a potential business cycle flip, such as a shift toward economic recovery where small caps often outperform due to their sensitivity to growth, lower rates, and increased spending. I've selected these based on recent recommendations for 2025 performance, focusing on sectors like financials, industrials, consumer discretionary, tech, and services that could benefit from such dynamics. Brief reasons are included for each. LendingTree operates an online marketplace for consumer credit and loans. It could see boosted demand from lower interest rates and rising economic activity in a recovery phase, with projected EPS growth over 360% amid strength in personal loans. Great Lakes Dredge and Dock, the largest U.S. dredging contractor for coastal and infrastructure projects. Infrastructure spending often ramps up in early cycle recoveries, supported by nearly $1 billion backlog and solid profitability. Sweet Green, a fast casual salad chain, expanding to 251 locations. Consumer discretionary spending tends to rebound in growth cycles with high unit volumes and plans for robotic efficiency to drive long-term expansion to 1,000+ restaurants. Serve Robotics develops food delivery robots, partnering with Uber Eats. Tech innovators like this could capitalize on efficiency gains and urban growth in a recovering economy, showing 150% Q1 revenue increase. Interesting. TaskUs provides outsourced digital services, including AI and customer experience. Business services outsourcing often accelerates in expansionary cycles, with strong revenue growth of 21.1% annually over 5 years and improving cash flows. Very cool. Interesting. I'm going to keep that up. Take a look at that later. Next, we've got Imagine Altcoins being in a bear market for 8 years straight. Technically, majority of altcoins have already had a 4-year bear cycle. That is pretty crazy to think about. And we have seen, actually, we've observed ourselves most of these charts. Avalanche, this is Filecoin, Polkadot, Avalanche, and Uniswap. It is interesting to see the ones like Avalanche and Uniswap have a lot more price action than Filecoin and Polkadot. Lunar Entity said oil is the only commodity giant currently not on the move. Yeah. I'm excited about oil actually dumping because gas prices are going down, which means I might be able to go to Frankenmuth this year. I haven't been there forever. If you guys have not ever been to Frankenmuth, it's a super great place in Michigan to check out. It has the largest Christmas store on the planet, which is opened year-round. Highly recommend checking it out. The rest of Frankenmuth is also really, really cool. Bitcoin chilling. Let's check ETH and Sol and Total 3. Everything's very, very quiet at the moment. Car dealers are now the most pessimistic since the pandemic. Cox Automotive's dealer sentiment index has fallen to a 5-year low. Interesting. U.S. on track to see the highest number of large corporate bankruptcies since 2010. Very crazy. Drummer said, don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys smash the like button. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Appreciate you guys for being here. Google searches for dollar debasement soared this quarter to highest level in history. I'm not sure. Honestly, I wanted to point this out just because I thought it was interesting, but I genuinely don't think that the Google searches are relevant at all, honestly. Lunar Entity said, I have the Mac tonight commercial stuck in my head. I don't know what that is. And last but not least, we've got Ash Crypto posting, Russell 2000 is the biggest indicator for alt season, and it's about to hit a new all-time high. Same cycle, same breakout point. Both Russell 2000 and Alt's market cap peaked in November 2021, marking the cycle top. Both entered a long-term bear market, 2022 to 2023. Now Russell is retesting its November 2021 highs, a key resistance zone. A breakout above these levels confirms the start of a major bull run in 2026. History shows that the U.S. alts market, Russell 2000, and crypto alts often move in sync. If Russell breaks out, ETH and alts will follow. The crypto market is in a state of fear following the October 10th. I always say 10 out of 10. The October 10th flash crash, and all leverage is flushed, which means it's a perfect scenario for a parabolic pump to start. Must keep an eye on Russell, as it will give an idea of how alts will move in the coming weeks. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin's chilling. Portfolio update. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio is currently down $499, 49.9%. None of these assets are in the green. Starting from the bottom, Aptos is currently down 72. Fetch is down 70. Render is down 57. Ondo is down 53. Proppy is down 52. ADA is down 47. SHIB is down 46. Near is down 43. Doge is down 43. And Sol is down 21. Then the meme coin portfolio, currently down 572, currently down 572, or 57.2%. None of these assets are in the green either. Starting from the bottom, GigaChad is down 165, Snek is down 137, Pepe is down 105, Whip is down 86, and Doge is down 71. Is that right? 81. Doge is down 81. Then the narrative portfolio, my favorite and the most stable, currently down 196, or 39.2%. None of these assets are in the green either. Starting from the bottom, Fetch is down 60. Yeah, Fetch is down 60. VChain is down 54. Mana is down 44. Pepe is down 36. And Tau is down 3. Real Meta Crypto said, what about Bonk or Pepe? We will take a look at that as soon as I am done with the perfect entry portfolio. Currently down 410, or 41%. Interesting. None of these assets are in profit either. Starting from the bottom, Avalanche is down 61, Render's down 61, Pith is down 55, Sui is down 49, Graph is down 49, Ondo's down 48, Crow is down 33, Sol is down 27, ETH is down 22, and Chainlink is down 8. And that is it. So take a look at Bonk. cannot spell today. Bonk USDT. Binance Bonk currently at 963. There's no way I have never looked at this before on the channel. Bonk USDT. It's gonna have been a different chart. Bybit. Am I crazy? There's no way. Has it really been that long? MXC maybe? What? I don't know if I've ever looked at this on the channel. Okay, good. Good. It was the Binance. It's just gone down quite a bit. Okay. So Bonk is at 963. It is significantly lower than the last time that we looked at it. The question is it going to have found a bottom? It is near that zone that it's usually near when it does. This is definitely a bottoming zone for sure. I'll put it like right there. You've got there we go. 1, 2, 3. And each one of these came with its own caveat. You got 1, 2, 3 touches there. You got 1, 2 touches here. Is this just going to be 1 touch? Technically, it's already 2, but they're very small. So we'll call it 1. It would be kind of cool. Now, the difference here, you got your triple bottom and then a slow recovery. You got your double bottom and then a fast recovery, but it did not go up as high. And you got your single bottom. Are you going to get a really fast recovery and it also stop at a certain point? Because I feel like I could see that. And then the longer term play obviously would be if we hit a super cycle scenario and then it just goes completely nuts. But I'm not going to even try to do the math to see if that's viable. Let's see. I'm liking this concept. I suppose in order to front run the possibility of that even happening, if I did load up here, I would have to take profits all the way along the way. I'd probably go 50% for the first one. And then the second one, probably 100. And then 150? Yeah, I would try to not get greedy. Actually, I'd even front run that. I'd go 140. So I'd go 50, 100, and then 140. Personal, high risk play. I like that we're possibly bouncing off of this lower trend line. And we've talked about this a couple of times on the channel. On Vu Manchu, on Market Cipher, when there's huge clouds in one direction, it usually almost always flips to the other direction, even if it's for a short period of time. This is on the daily. So let's actually check this out. Yeah, you got a bunch of confirmed green dots, and that resulted in this decent sized pump. Confirmed green dots, decent sized pump. So these dots are not confirmed, but you do have a bunch of them, and the cloud is primarily focused on the lower half of the chart. That is on the daily. Let me go down to the 4-hour just to see. I was looking at ADA. I was thinking bullishness. I'm an ADA maxi, so my average is probably around 30 or 40 cents. So I think I am also bullish on ADA. On the 1 hour for Bonk or for ADA. So take a look at ADA. ADA on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour. There we go. I mean, it's sideways and it's below 42, so... But again, this is where it gets into that whole mindset thing that I've talked about a couple of times. It's hard to separate your brain from your wallet. Like, when I look at this chart, just my retail, like, my little caveman retail brain is... This chart is down, so I don't want it. Down, bad, me no want to touch. When in reality... That is literally when you're supposed to buy. You are supposed to buy stuff that's down bad because eventually it's going to flip to up good. And that's when you take profits. So aside from the down bad, my retrace pattern target was 42. And we are lingering around here, which I'm totally okay with. And if we get a rebound off of it, then that will have been a completely successful target in my opinion. Obviously, we did go below it a couple of times, but that's given. Nobody can ever be 100% right. If this does bounce from here and it goes up, I'm going to consider that an 80% win. personally. Now, we do have higher low here, which is good. You got clouds focusing on the lower half on the 1 hour at the very least. Green dot on your momentum wave. Yeah, green dot right there. So upside potential is there for sure. I like it. I like the chart. I could see volume being a little bit better, but this is specific to KuCoin, so don't judge that entirely based on KuCoin's volume specifically. Even a 15-minute it looks good. I'm getting inverse head and shoulder vibes. Let's go to the 15. And it's a little fugly. Maybe it's not that great, actually. It's not as good as I thought. Maybe I'm looking at this. Yeah, actually, that looks good. That looks decent. Let's see if that results in some upside. I would love to get back above 42 in the lower term time frame. And then you wanted to take a look at Pepe as well. Pepe. Ooh, okay. Pepe's 457 trend line. I'm assuming maybe that's the bottom. Because you got a clear downtrend right here. And with that, you had a couple of fake outs and you're dancing around it, kind of like an average rejection, broke above, support, continuation, trend reversal. This is clearly down. This is no longer down, even if it's just sideways. Sideways is better than down. And it's got kind of, it's leaning upwards a little bit. So eventually, this is probably going to look like that. Not financial advice. Just, I guess I'll call it an artist's perspective. Getting above 457 is going to be a big deal. And then eventually get above 5 is going to be huge. You got your bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI. Green dot on the momentum wave. Negative money flow, but that's not the end of the world. Volume could be a little bit better, but that is specific to Binance. Let's get above 457, like I said, and continue to the upside. Bitcoin, 89, 498, 93 cents. Guys, I think I'm going to call it an evening. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. As always, when Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Saturday and good night.